my fellow Americans. It is Wednesday, and it is time for the Refuge Report. What's up, you crazy cats and kittens? It's that time of the day on the fourth day of the week where we sit down and we chat, we hang out, we talk about what the current haps are. Haps is kid lingo or slang, I've been told, for the happenings, as in what is going on. Shout out to everybody in the chat who's hanging out. My head is cut off just a little bit on the screen. I don't know if it's supposed to be that way. It is on my screen. Let's see the. See what I'm talking about there? Yeah, but you're watching it through YouTube Studio. I'm watching it on YouTube. Okay. Un momento. Uno momento. 5x5. Okay. Yep. Classic, Bob. Classic. All right. No, we see your whole head on our end. Yeah, that's my bad. That's my bad. It's Matt W13 said audio is low. I don't know that I could get the microphone closer to my face. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? There you go. Awesome. Rock and roll. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. You guys are the Cat's Pajamas. We love you. Diana Smith is here. Ace McLean is here. Quixotic is here. Voltage Driver, 7 Heather 7, and Hemi are here. Jap is here. Shalom from the mountaintop. Made it to Colorado out of city off the East Coast. Nice.
You're telling us, yuppie. It's getting spicy out there.
Yuppie, getting spicy out there. Head on a civil. Yeah, absolutely, Yuppie Sniper. You're right. We're going to talk about it. It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's good. Robert Luxmore, what's up? Guys, share the stream out because we're going to talk about some big news that's happening today. We're going to talk about the crazy stuff that's going on in the world, but we're going to have a realistic approach to it. But first things first, shout out to the absolute best medical kit and medical training company in the world, Refuge Medical. They're the Cat's Pajamas, as you guys are well aware. But, you know, we just love to give them a good shout out here at the Refuge Report because they let us do this nonsense that is talk to y'all on the internet. So if you're looking for some good first aid gear or you're looking for a way to bless somebody, I really do recommend that you get this gear now. We're hearing the gears of war start turning, not just globally, but here specifically for the U.S. There's some really good indicators that show that we're going to be in kinetic conflict soon. And so with that, kinetic conflict. That's what that is. That is, so kinetic conflict means actual warfare, boots on ground, 3rd-gen warfare. So kinetic conflict, meaning our troops are in contact. We got tick, right? So I recommend you get your gear now, stock up, make sure that you have your preps in order now versus later. Some really good things to get right now are the BPKs because it has everything you need for a blowout kit refill right there. Boom, $60, blowout kit refill. So that way, if you're using it out in the field or your buddy, you're using it on your buddy, your pal, your friend, yourself, whoever, or a stranger, you have that gear now. I'm personally, I just placed an order at Refuge Medical to let you know how serious it is. Me, Bob, I am ordering gear from Refuge Medical. My wife and I just ordered a bunch of stuff. And then we're actually putting in another order here for some different components and materials on the surgical side, on the IV side. So for my dogs, I'm really worried about my dogs, and having all that stuff. So think about your medical lines of prep, not just in a trauma sense. You should have trauma refill items. That's a big thing. But also look at it in the sense of, okay, do I have, prolonged field care, prolonged casualty care equipment? Do I have my gauzes, my cleaners, my surgical instruments? Do I have backups to those things? Do I have IV bags for my dogs? Do I have IV tubing? Do I have additional IV start sets in case you blow the first needle, which happens all the time on your dog? Do you have lines to this gear, right? So that's something that my wife and I are thinking pretty heavy about right now. We want to make sure that we have all of our gear, our ducks in a row. So that way we can be a blessing and a resource to other people. Also think about like OTC meds. Those are huge. NSAIDs are huge. Allergy medication is huge. Anti-poop pills, huge. right? So get extra of that gear now, guys. Seriously, we're gonna start to see big dips in production and big shifts in allocation. The DLA, Defense Logistics Agency, is going to start really grabbing a lot of this stuff up as we start to go kinetic. And so we'll see what we saw in 2021 and 2022, where once Ukraine kicked off in 22, everything dried up. And so the same thing will happen. Everything will dry up again. And so if you are like, hey, man, I've got, a couple $100 to spend on preps this month, go to medical. And I'm not usually that type of guy. I try to tell you guys to get food, and I try to tell you guys to like focus on communications and shelter and training. But it's time. It's time to really take a good inventory of what you have and shift your stuff and your focus over to like having these preps in line, because it's going to get really hard to get, especially if we go with if it gets weird with certain countries that produce a lot of stuff, we'll get cut off. Like it doesn't matter, like tariffs and taxation and stuff like that. Like that's not going to matter. It's going to be like they're not going to ship, which would be smart, right? And so be really thinking about that.
We had a question.
Did Bob just tell me to buy an RPK? No, I didn't. I told you to buy the opposite of an RPK. I told you to buy medical gear, not a 7.62 by 51 machine gun.
Monodoc Acres asked, any changes to the AUK other than the bag? I really like the new bag.
No, there hasn't been any changes. We just decided to make the stuff here in the sew shop. And people wanted a bag instead of the freaking.
You're thinking of the wrong kit, Bob.
What am I thinking of?
The AUK we changed to the lightning bag.
Oh.
You think? Sorry.
Sorry, that's my bad. No, but in terms of the components, no, nothing's changed to the best of my knowledge. We went to the lightning bag, so that way it'd be high vis still.
And the bags are awesome, and you can get them in like the range of colors they have is amazing.
I recommend the red bags because it has all the high vis striping, but we wanted something that you could carry around on the job site that could be transported easily.
They have that like highlighter green yellow too.
Yeah,
very high.
Yeah, it's just as good. What we don't want is like a case to get dusty and sit there. We want a bag that's actually transported around the job site for safety reasons. Heather, that sucks. You should fight them to the death. Don't put on your helmet, but it better be in your hands. That's a great word, Miss Kmitz. And like, really think about that statement. Anybody who took the night responder knows that it's a really bad deal to put on a helmet. I would be more prepared to receive people and receive injured than I would to go put my helmet on right now. And that's kind of where my thought process is how do I be a blessing to the people in my community? How do I plus up clinical medical capabilities? How do I plus up like Band-Aids, ACE wraps, splints, SAMs, or like finger splints, Co-Band, all that jazz, because that's the gear that people aren't thinking about. And it's like, oh, I have 4 rolls of Co-Band. Cool, that's 2 splints. Or that's like 1 sports injury. So like really be thinking about like, what am I prepping and why? What's what's the most likely MOI, which is your mechanism of injury? It's not always gunshots and everything like that. I think you should have tourniquets. I think you should have hemostatic gauze. I think you should have chest seals. But really be thinking about the more common MOIs, which is like sports injuries, burns, scrapes, ouchies, stuff like that, as well as treating people who have a fever or treating people who have maybe some sort of health issues, right? Reach out to Jace, get your Jace case, make sure you have your antibiotics, your steroids, and everything that you can get through them, right? Yeah, first responder versus first receiver. That's an awesome line, Ed. I'm stealing that. 100% stolen. So be prepared right now to be a first receiver. If it continues to go the way that it's looking to go, it's probably more likely that a lot of us are going to bug in super hard, in which case we should be ready to receive people with different, maybe not even ailments, maybe just medical conditions, like somebody who's pregnant. Do you have birthing buckets? Do you have that capability to have a baby at home if maybe the world gets super stupid? which it's getting really stupid. And it's not just getting really stupid in other places, it's starting to get really stupid here, right? And we're going to talk about that, right? We saw in the last 2 weeks about 6 different apartment complexes taken over by Venezuelan gangs. So these Venezuelan gangs completely captured these apartment complexes and then held off law enforcement from entering them. And law enforcement wasn't going to enter them because they had no deportation ability. So even if they arrested them, majority of the states, they were going to get let right back out and go right back to the same thing. And so law enforcement went to the whole like, hey, DNA, do not approach, pull back, set a perimeter, and kind of, watch. We're going to see that continue to happen as the local policing capability is diminished, as well as if it gets more dangerous. A lot of police officers probably will stop showing up at a certain point, given the fact that they're not paid enough, right? And that the risk to reward ratio is just not even close to there. Having really close relationships with law enforcement officers, I'm pretty confident of that simple fact. There'll be the select few that show up and do the job, and that's awesome. But at a certain point, what job are you doing? And so that's when you start to see stuff like the National Guard roll out and all these different things, in which bug-in capability becomes much more important, and standoff becomes much more important. Yeah, absolutely, Alan. Jesus is coming. He's been coming for about 2024 years. We're prepping for him. Make sure that you're at the gate, lamp is filled, wick is trimmed, you're ready to receive your master. Be a good servant, right? Sounds like what, New Jersey City or what? New Jack City? I don't know what New Jack City is. What is New Jack City? Is that a movie? If you guys come to Brazil, you would live like kings. I believe you. I'm not really interested in living like a king. There's only one king. I have no other kings, no other masters, but the one true Lord. I'm telling you guys this because we'll probably see the degradation of society to at least a second world country here in the next 3 to 6 months. We're what, 6 weeks out from the election. Stuff will really get it's going to keep ramping up in spiciness.
Is it really only 6 weeks?
I think it's September right now. September, October, November, right? So first week of November is the election. We're 2 weeks into September. So yeah, about 6 weeks until the election. I see lots of medical equipment on GovPlanet all the time for anyone skilled and financially able to build a hospital. That's a great word, Strikercade. I was actually talking with Mike about that earlier, about what diagnostic tools we should be looking into that we can operate that'd be profitable for us. The wise will prepare for longer term care. It is great to stabilize and evacuate if you have a place to evacuate to and a way to get there. Absolutely, Robert Luxmore. So this comes back into your planning, right? And communications. We talked about communications on the YouTube channel not too long ago, and in team building, and what you guys should be training. And this comes to like, hey, you guys have a nurse in your mag. Okay, your nurse, like you guys need to be communicating with your nurse. Like, hey, what do we need to get you to support a critical patient, an emergent non-critical patient, somebody who's been hurt, somebody who's sick? What are our SOPs, standard operating procedures for this? Really be looking into that in case like, hey, we don't want to travel right now because travel has either become unfeasible, gas has become too high, or it's not safe, right? So how do we do this? Get squared away. Absolutely. Yuppie. What's up, Texas T? Shalom, my brother. Can build the field hospital. It's a skill to utilize if properly built behind the 8-ball on. What? I don't know what that says. That we are behind the 8-ball on. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of us are behind the 8-ball on building out field hospital capabilities. Mike and I were studying some MCUs, which is a mobile care unit. And there's different levels of MCUs. You could build that out in a trailer or a shipping container or all these different things. And it's really a location that can be moved. It's mobile, and you can give care to an individual that's been injured or that is unwell inside of. And all of that takes a lot of components as well as devices, right? Some of those devices you can get from here. Some of them you can't. If you don't have an AED, you should have an AED. If you don't have bag valve masks, you should have bag valve masks. Oof, that was rough to say twice fast. As well as you should have the ability to support patients in hypothermia. You should have APLS blankets, heaters, all these things you should really be thinking about right now. I promise the components are going to go missing. It's not an if, it's a when, and the when is soon. And I can't go too deep into it. It's just I'm in this industry, right? And so even if you buy it from somewhere else, you guys got to get this stuff seriously. Look at bulk gauze. Look at bulk gauze. Look at your support. Your support. IV tubing, IV start sets, bags, right? Your over-the-counter medication is going to be huge. A lot of this stuff is not made here. That's a problem. You guys need to be getting on the page for that, okay?
One company, Alan 456 said one company he got a tactical gear from, True Spec, went belly up.
Yeah, so there's another one, and that's gonna continue to happen. I can't talk about what companies. I'm gonna tell you there's a couple of companies that are gonna flip. They're over leveraged, they're over in debt, and they're on sale all the time. That comes to like a request from us. If you guys are on the social media and you're like scrolling and you see like Chinese gear, Temu gear, regular like brands that aren't making good first aid gear, go in their comment section and rep us. Like, please, I'm asking you, go in their comment section and be like, hey, guys, this isn't good stuff. Go get quality made stuff from professionals over at Refuge Medical. They'll help you out. We've got stuff priced for every tier, man. We've got it at $60. We've got it at like $1,000, you know. We've got it all spread out, right? And if you want to buy a component at a time, you can do that through us too. And we try to help it out. Question: is it optimal to include lidocaine with the med packs? Is it optimal for us? It really depends. Like lidocaine is a very specific thing that you probably would only apply like during suturing, at least like, and still even then, like, do you have it? We obviously don't sell lidocaine, but it's like a good prep to have. If you have access to lidocaine, you should have access to lidocaine, and maybe that goes like in your medication storage, and it's like, okay, that's where that is, right? And I can use that when I need that, versus like putting it inside of med packs where it can travel into the field and the brush monster can take it. I probably wouldn't do that. I don't have lidocaine in my med packs. What I do have is Narcan. So a lot of you guys don't have Narcan, and as fentanyl exposure goes up, as enemies enter into our country, look for large scale fentanyl exposure. I'm not going to say dirty bomb. You guys said it, not me. What's up, Michael Sherman? So continuing on, I don't know if you guys saw this or not. Obviously, a bunch of you know this. Somebody tried to assassinate Donald Trump again. He was at the. They had ceramic tiles inside of bags hanging on the fence that they were trying to hide behind. That's not how armor works. I don't know what Reddit forum they were into. Guys, be smart. It's getting more and more dangerous. Don't be at places that are high risk in the threat matrix. I understand people want to go see political individuals speak. They want to go rally and do all this stuff and be active. Be smart right now. It's only getting more tense, and we're going to see more and more instances like that occur. Even so much today, there was a vehicle that was at a Trump rally that was near Donald Trump when he was speaking. It had explosives in it. Grateful that it didn't go off. But it was literally a VBED, right? So a vehicle-based IED. And so this is not happening in Afghanistan. This is happening here. And I don't know a way to be more serious and rational in my explanation to that to you, or explanation of that to you. We are seeing VBEDs and terrorist attacks here in the US. That's happening, right? And criminals who are doing these things are getting off. They're not getting prosecuted. If you guys were here a few months ago, we talked about the woman who went absolutely insane and killed a 3-year-old with a knife at a grocery store. She stalked the mom, she stalked the child, walked out, stabbed them. She got let off. She did not seek any jail time. They didn't seek any prison time for her. She was deemed unfit to mentally unfit or unstable to be in jail. So that chick is back out.
She's not in like a psych ward?
Nope. That chick is back out. She gone. back into the
No,
brush.
no way.
Look it up, dude.
I don't even want to look it up because I don't want to see the story again.
We talked about last week or maybe 2 weeks ago about a gentleman who had like a whole rap sheet, multiple stabbings, and stabbed a dude to death. And they were like, they finally gave him like 140 years of prison. It's like, yeah, I think this guy's going to stab more people, right? So look at having like the ability to create a little bit of space, create a little standoff, maybe defend yourself, and have first aid gear on you. And like, guys, it's deteriorating. You're watching it happen. The news is coming so fast at you that you don't see it, because it's like, how do you boil a frog? Like, you just slowly raise that heat up, and that's what's happening right now. They're slowly raising the heat up, and we don't realize we're getting boiled. Like, our country is deteriorating. My fellow Americans, pay the F attention right now. I love you, right? Yeah, see, Iridium Group. Yep. Aerosolized public fentanyl attack is literally one of the scenarios my students all get to go through. Maybe it's a hint, ... Yeah, that's a thing. Inside of our essential responder, they deal with a fentanyl exposure, and they're really surprised when a bunch of people start dying. But it turns out if everybody kicks up a bunch of fentanyl into the air and then starts breathing it in, they're going to pass out, right? So you guys got to have Narcan on you, got to have the capability, like, know what the problem set is, be able to work the problem set, and then create distance from the problem. That's really what we need to do. And we need to be rational about this. We don't need to be fear-mongering. We don't need to be, sensationalizing any of it. It's very, very bad. We should not be sensationalizing it. We should be honest. And we need to be having conversations with more people about rational, realistic preparedness inside of austere environments here at home, rather than like, oh, when the zombies attack, I'm going to be in my zombie apocalypse groups. It's like, no, dude, you don't need to do that. Actually, we have roughly 7 to 11 million individuals that have entered our country, and we know that a large majority of them have previously belonged to terror cells. So, like, I mean, I feel like Ray Charles could maybe see this, or Stevie Wonder like wrote this book, but maybe I'm going crazy. I don't know. Where do we get Narcan? That's a great question. I bought some at Walmart yesterday. It sucked. It was $45 for 2 doses. That was really lame. People say that you can go to your local sheriff's department and all this stuff. You can get free Narcan. I haven't done that yet. I'm going to go and do that because I want more Narcan. But you can buy it from a majority of drugstores. Some drugstores in certain cities give it away for free. There is such a thing as Narcan vending machines. They're always empty. And I personally really believe that like everybody should have this stuff on them. Like, if you I just can't press this enough, guys. Like, you really got to get your gear and get your house in order, because it's not coming, it's here. Check your local drug coalition for Narcan. Yeah, that's cool. Like, maybe Moms Against Drugs or something. Mad. Zombies. Wrap yourself in duct tape. Problem solved. Yeah, exactly, right? Find a harm reduction agency, or your health department probably has some. That's a great one too, right? Get some Narcan. All right, so we're going to move into our next news story. We talked about Donald Trump getting shot at last week. There was a V-bed that didn't go off at a rally today. We're moving on from that. We see political violence is increasing. That's a big symptom and sign for deterioration. We're looking at 4 wounded at a Brooklyn train station when officers shoot man wielding a knife, right? So, once again, those city centers.
This is one of those ones where innocent people ended up taking some of the shots, and like,
So,
you gotta be prepared.
New York, 4 people were wounded at a Brooklyn subway station Sunday when police officers shot a man threatening them with a knife and inadvertently sprayed bullets that hit passengers, authorities said. The people struck by gunfire included 2 innocent bystanders, one of the officers and the man with the blade, who the police initially confronted because he hadn't paid his fare. One of the passengers, a 49-year-old man, was hospitalized in critical condition after a bullet passed into an adjoining subway car and struck his head. Interim Police Commissioner Thomas Donlan, who was only appointed to his position Friday, promised a thorough investigation, but cast blame for the incident on the man accused of brandishing the knife. That's not how that works. You are responsible for every single bullet that leaves your firearm every single time. Doesn't matter. We'll be working through the timeline of today, but make no mistake, the events that occurred on the Sutter Avenue station platform are the results of an armed perpetrator who was confronted by our officers doing their job we asked them to do. I wonder how much de-escalation went into it. That's my question, is like, how much focus did we put into de-escalation of the problem rather than like escalating it to where he brandished a knife and then we had these things and then still shot discipline, right? The shooting happened a little after 3 p.m. when 2 officers followed a man up the station steps to an elevated platform after seeing them without pain. The officers told the man to stop, but he refused, muttering, "I'm going to kill you if you don't stop following me," Mattery said. In the course of the encounter, the officers noticed the man had a knife. They followed him onto a train that put them into the station and fired 2 tasers, but neither incapacitated the man. Madry said the man was advancing on the officers with the knife when both officers fired multiple rounds. The 37-year-old man was hit several times. He was hospitalized in stable condition. So the bad guy's hospitalized in stable condition. The innocent bystander got shot in the head. Okay. The video taken by a passenger shows the officers rendering first aid before one of them realized that he, too, had been hit by a bullet. While they're working on the male, they become aware that the other people are hit by gunfire as well, Mattery said. Besides the passenger struck in the head, a 26-year-old woman also suffered a graze wound. The wounded police officer had a bullet enter his torso under his armpit and lodge in his back, but was expected to make a full recovery. Mayor Eric Adams, a Democrat, which doesn't really matter, visited the wounded officer in the hospital on Sunday. Adams described the man who evaded the subway fare as a career criminal. Surprise. Saying he had over 20 arrests. Surprise. Mattery said, I think that this is New York.
No, I mean, that's the location it happened.
Yeah, where's this career criminal from? Yeah, that's a great question.
Also, I was driving. Hi, good to see you.
Hey, buddy.
I was driving down the road, and I heard you say V-bed at a Trump rally?
Oh, yeah, you didn't hear that?
No, man, I was doing other shit.
Yeah, so they found a bunch of explosives inside of a car at a Trump rally that didn't go off.
Dude, what the?
So I'm trying to tell these people, I'm like, hey guys,
there weren't any people there because remember Trump has to pay people to come to his rallies.
So,
yeah, I'm sure there was nobody that showed up.
So that information in conjunction with what I was talking about on the brief this morning,
which I stopped watching the brief because I just can't do it. There's so much.
About 45 minutes in, I did a global strategic recap of U.S., China, Russia, Iran. Dude, it's time. We're there.
So I'm trying to tell these people, I'm like, hey, IV tubing, gauze, do you have your field hospital set up? Are you ready to go to receive these people? And Ed called it a really cool thing. He called it first receiver instead of first responder.
I'm gonna just
come hop in, bro.
For a moment, ruin your vibe.
No, dude, you're good.
I just, what's up, Refuge Nation? I just wanted to, I guess, triple reiterate between you and Ed and me this morning. We have got to have the skills, the capabilities, the network to be independent from this broken, fragile system, because this is not good is not accurate enough.
No, dude.
And I don't want things to fall apart, and I'm also not going to get spun around the axles because Bitachon, Yahweh is sovereign over all things, and I have full faith and trust in Him. The Lord feeds the birds of the field. Yep, but He doesn't put the worms in their nest.
Correct.
He didn't put the wheat in the granaries for Joseph. He didn't build the ark for Noah, and so
the Father gave us the promised land. We still had to walk to it.
5 years of warfare
once
they got there.
Right.
And so I'm not going to call it a spiritual conviction. This isn't thus says Yahweh through Bear, but man, I just feel like it's time to get your poop in a group, and if it's not in a group, get it all the way in a group because, dude, when things go kinetic, they go hot. I heard you mention, you think all this stuff is still coming over from China?
Yeah.
They're not. They have strategic reserves of coal and iron and diesel fuel and natural gas and plastics and chemical precursors and medications, all this shit in anticipation, and our FEMA is broke, and we don't have strategic reserves of anything, and the American taxpayer is also broke, and we're $35 trillion in debt, and there's more of them than us, and they control our power grid and our farmland. Who'd have thought?
Yeah.
It's going to be fine, though.
Well, and this goes back to like, dude, we need to be honest about these problems because this isn't what I don't want people to be like, oh, you guys are fear porning, you're sensationalists. That's not what we're doing. We're literally talking about things that happened in the past 8 days. The past 8 days. This isn't sensationalism. There's no big nuclear explosion or anything like that in our thumbnail saying it's the war is coming out. Like that's not what we're doing.
We live this. This is our everyday life.
We're just looking at the data. Like if you study the deterioration of first and second world countries into third world, that we're right there. What happens is political violence. After political violence comes civil unrest and civil war. It's just textbook. Like it doesn't matter what organization writes the thesis. That's what they say.
And then starvation.
And then we've got famine, and then you have disease and plague, right? Yep. And so,
but it's cool. It's cool because
it's seeming like we're Revelation 6-y now.
I watched an administrative results video about tactical lever actions, and I'm just going to buy a tactical lever action instead.
Yeah, that's what you should do. Yeah, we should. Somebody commented is like, Bob just told me to buy an SK or an RPK. I was like, that's not what I said at all.
RPKs are cool, First of all, do you even know how to use it? Do you know how to keep it fed? Can you carry it? Can you employ it? Now I have a machine gun. Cool, it's part of what your support element because you also have an assault element and left and right security, and you got EPW teams and you got demo teams, and you can carry a rucksack and you can ruck so you can go do actions on the objective, and you have a CASEVAC plan, and you have logistics and support, and you've got a home guard, and you've got a fob, and you've got a fuel for the vehicles and a maintenance crew, and you have wrenches who knows how to take care of all your shit, and you know where your berthing is going to be. You have all that other shit squared away. Now I have an RPK. Whatever. Love you.
I love you too, bro.
You guys are doing a great job. I was just going to step in and be like, was that VBAD shit real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Britt is the one that told me about it, and she usually doesn't lie. So
I'm going to go buy a semi a week.
Okay.
I'll share with you guys.
Yeah, that'd be super cool.
Cool.
Bye.
Keep up the good work.
Also, it's approximately 25 buckets of food per individual for a year of sustainment. So, in case you were curious. All right, let's hop into the need to replace my med supplies all around. Past couple years has seen us use it on others. That's awesome, Diana. Do it. Do it now. Do it. Do it now. Yeah, hit that like button, y'all. Realistically, we're diving into the actual news here. If you would like to see somebody talking about that cackling hyena or the orange man, maybe flip to a different channel. Like, that's just not our focus. We're trying to talk about things that could actually affect you in your day-to-day life, right? Because I care about you. Because you have value, because you're created in the image of the Most High God. So, like, this stuff matters. Not the sensationalism of it, but just the reality of it, right? So,
you know what we were just talking about earlier today about, you know, what we're putting in our body and all of that, and we talk about all the things that we need to carry. We got to get healthy. I'm not trying to say like we all need to get skinny. We just need to get healthy,
dude. If you're not drinking water, like if you're not eating food and drinking water, food being the operative word there. If you have to open more than 2 packages to get to the source of thing that you're going to put in your mouth, it's probably not food. Like, I'm just saying. Like, if you're not just eating real food and drinking water.
Stuff you can't pronounce.
Probably
not food.
If there's titanium or aluminum in the food you're eating, it might not be food. Your body has, like, you don't need titanium nitrate. I hate to say it.
I'm tired, Heather. I'm on day 1 of no energy drinks. And I know it's going to be worth it, but I'm tired.
Yeah, so Quixotic brings it up a great point. In field experience with Narcan, Narcan might not make someone who's on either tranq or fentanyl react the way you think. Totally true. They can come out swinging, but they'll be alive. So if you're like a 90-pound woman and you're like out there dosing people with Narcan, maybe not the best idea, or at least have like a couple of capable people with you.
As I'm eating a PB&J sandwich.
As I eat a slice of beef and gulp a drink of water from a Sawyer. laughing
Okay, the
laughing my
beef
butt
and
off.
water, yes. The PB&J peanut butter is like one of the worst.
Local prepper asks, "What's going down?" That's a great question. So we had Trump get almost assassinated last week. They found like a gaggle of explosives inside of a vehicle at one of his rallies today. So that's non-effective V-bed. We've got Venezuelans that are taking over apartment complexes throughout the country right now. And then we have this one coming to us right now: suspicious packages sent to election officials across the United States. The FBI is investigating to determine how many suspicious packages were sent, by whom, and why. And I'm sure they'll get right down to the bottom of it.
Do you remember, just pause really quick, do you remember after 9/11 happened, the ANTHRAX scare?
Yeah.
Like, and that
Anthrax?
was like a
You can
thing.
say
Oh,
anthrax.
I didn't know. Like, sometimes you just don't know on YouTube what you can say. But do you remember that whole vibe? Like, oh my God, you're gonna get white powder in the mail.
Yeah.
I remember that. So, like, reading that, I'm like, really?
Hey man, oldie but a goldie, right? Suspicious packages containing white powder have been sent to election officials in more than a dozen states since Monday, prompting investigations and evacuations. Officials in Iowa, Kansas, Nebraska, Tennessee, Wyoming, and Oklahoma. What do all those states have in common?
Aren't they like super not leftist like states?
I'm pretty sure that all those states go blue. But anyways, we'll continue on. Addressed to secretaries of state and election offices were received on Monday. More packages were reported by other states, including Connecticut and Indiana on Tuesday. Connecticut Secretary of State Stephanie Thomas confirmed that her office has been alerted by Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, when a suspicious envelope was intercepted at a U.S. Postal Service facility in West Hartford. The intercepted package matched the description of those received by election offices in other states. It has been sent to the state lab for testing. The powder has been deemed harmless in most cases. The FBI and U.S. Postal Service are investigating. The FBI and U.S. Postal Inspection Service are investigating a series of suspicious mailings sent to election officials in several states. The agency said in a statement to media outlets, some of the letters contained an unknown substance, and we are working closely with our law enforcement partners to respond to each incident and safely collect all the letters. The agency said they are investigating to determine how many letters were sent, by whom, and why. They declined to comment further and urged those handling mail from unrecognized senders to exercise caution and report any suspicious items to law enforcement. Oklahoma officials said the material sent to the election office was identified as flour, while Wyoming has yet to confirm whether the substance sent there posed a threat. The packages caused evacuations in Iowa and Kansas, though hazmat teams deemed the material was not hazardous. We have specific protocols in place for situations such as this, Iowa Secretary of State Paul Pate said in a statement following the evacuation of a 60-story Lucas State office building in Des Moines. We immediately reported the incident per our protocols. Kansas experienced a similar response with the state office building in Topeka evacuated on Monday. Multiple state employees were exposed to the unknown substance, but field tests determined it was not hazardous. Kansas also received suspicious packages, some of which contained fentanyl!
No!
Oh, they would never give
No
fentanyl.
way.
What? That's crazy. If only they had
Ew.
Narcan. I promise I didn't even read this news story before. But guys, what would it do? Delaying ballot counting in some local elections. We're definitely not doing testing right now. Oklahoma State
Oh my
Election Board
God.
received a suspicious envelope, which was secured by Oklahoma Highway Patrol. Testing later revealed the substance to be flour. So we got some real ones and some false alarms going out right now. It was
No,
not.
it's fentanyl.
It was.
Hush.
You can't say that
Get
right
outta
now,
here.
bro. The FBI is searching right now. They are.
It's very hard, bro. It's gonna be one of those like, he was on our radar.
Oh my
like
God.
every other asshole.
They were never on the radar.
Oh my gosh.
Love you, bro. Bye. In Wyoming, workers in an office building near the state capitol in Cheyenne were sent home pending further testing after a suspicious package was mailed to the Secretary of State's office. The incidents marked the second time in a year that multiple states' election offices have been targeted with suspicious packages. Last November, similar suspicious letters were sent to election offices and government buildings in multiple states. Some of these letters contained fentanyl. Oh man, gosh, guys,
Sorry.
we should have done a checkerboard, like a bingo board, like fentanyl in election packages.
We used to do bingo.
Yeah, we
We
should
need to
do.
go back to doing
We should do
bingo.
SHTF bingo. Jake, if you're here, make us an SHTF bingo card. We could have like somebody tries to kill Trump on there. We could have an attack to our infrastructure. But instead of bingo, we'll make it 4 squares, so it's SHTF. So you spell out SHTF. That's what we'll do instead of the threat matrix now. Well, dang, buy lots of medicals. Second round of exploding pagers went off. Yeah, we'll get there in a second. Election offices across the United States have taken steps to enhance security following the 2020 election, which saw an increase in threats and harassment. All right, so I think it's important that you have Narcan on you. I think it's important that you have resuscitatory tools, right? But what do I know? So next we're going to talk about fear campaigns and the effectiveness of it, because a lot of people think like, oh, this is a prankster. This is just a prankster. So what you do is you send a couple out with actual fentanyl, and then you send a bunch out with white powder, and then people begin to get so scared that they quit their jobs. So you bring in new people that aren't as effectively trained, that maybe you slotted to take that role and that opening of a job that hadn't been open in 10 years, and somebody just couldn't take it anymore and they quit, right? And now you're putting your own personal agents into those roles to help skew the election results of an election that's up and coming, knowing that it's already been effective in the delay of the counting of ballots in local elections. So when you're inundated with more election work surrounding a national election, like a presidential one, we put in a bunch of underqualified or potentially bad actor individuals, is why I'm going to say that. And boom, now we're able to skew election results in a more advantageous route to this, to whoever the culprit of this is, right? This is a fear campaign. That's what it is, right? There's another huge fear campaign that's happening right now, and it's very effective, and it's happening inside of Israel. And so Israel, from what we've studied and read so far, because you don't have a bunch of good information around that country, what seems to be that happened is Hezbollah ordered a shipment of pagers, right, from China or somewhere. I don't know. I don't remember how it read that one. But they ordered this shipment of pagers. That shipment of pagers was intercepted. Inside of that shipment of pagers, inside of each pager, a small explosive was put or a detonating charge on top of the lithium battery.
So many pagers.
That's not even.
The first one was
Dude, you
like
think that's
1,000.
crazy? Wait till you hear about the smallpox blankets. You think that's crazy warfare? Dude, we did that. We did that.
No, we didn't do that.
Our government did that.
Yeah.
All right. So this is totally within the realm of possibility. All right. So anyways, these pagers are intercepted. Small charge or a detonating charge on top of a lithium battery. They're sent back out the way that they would have normally done. The interception isn't noticed. And then at a certain point, all of those pagers are activated at the same time, blowing up, causing a ton of injuries and a lot of deaths, right? They just had the second round of these go off.
Yeah.
And the same exact thing happened, right? Now, here's why this is so effective. One, you just took out a lot of dudes that were supposedly working for Hezbollah. Bad dudes, those guys can get the smoke. Second reason it's so effective is anybody who is tied into or related to or connected to that organization now is in fear of using any technology. because they don't know how it's been compromised or why it's been compromised or what means and methods they used. And I'm sure that we won't learn that for a long time if we ever learn it. Second, the recruitment process for Hezbollah just decreased exponentially because now all of these people are also worried about being targeted. This is like this is some psychological warfare that is happening that's on a different level. This is hitting like multiple boxes in terms of warfare, and it's actually very interesting. And it goes back to Israel and Mossad, and those dudes are pretty crazy at what they do. Like there's a reason I can't say that on YouTube. Never mind. But those guys are very crazy at what they do. It's very interesting to watch in terms of warfare. And so this is something that we all should pay attention to because every single one of us right now is using a device. And so if we actually thought that there was a power that be that wanted to target us, dang, they sure could probably use those devices, couldn't they? Pay attention right now. There's going to come a time where you got to throw that thing in the trash. It's going to happen.
So the second round was with their radios, their walkie-talkies.
Oh, man, they're walkie-talkies?
Look, I read the article. It said walkie-talkies.
Just because the news said walkie-talkie. Because their communication system. It probably was like a walkie-talkie. It's like a Midland radio from Walmart.
I know I'm not the
Durka,
only
durka,
person that
jihad,
called them
jihad.
walkie-talkies. Sorry, I'm not a gray man.
Oh, yeah, the Hyper Gray Man. Dude, that would have been so funny. He has like an antenna just sticking out his backpack. So all of these things are showing an intensification of modern warfare happening in these current conflicts, right? This is not third gen or fourth gen warfare. This is beyond that, right? So we're deep into this warfare that's happening. So I would ask yourself a question. If Israel and Mossad have technology that can blow up pagers that are attached to Hezbollah, and you're concerned about China and Chinese manufacturing, and your devices are made in China, do you think that it's possible, not probable, but just possible, that could happen? Just an interesting, yeah. So we're not going to go there, Jim Toby, but because I would like to keep this stream up, but there it is.
Someone said to let the attempt on Trump be the free space on the bingo card.
No, the free space has got to be something like funnier.
Kano brought up if anyone knows someone that uses CBD or the gummies, apparently it's in those as well at some stores.
I was actually talking to one of my local
fentanyl.
sheriff's deputies last week about that. So regulation around manufacturing of CBD and THC gummies is really, really lax. And so they've been bringing in both THC and CBD gummies that have been laced with that good stuff. Guys, I probably not a super safe time to do drugs as a whole. Like, I don't recommend drug use in general, but if you do feel so inclined to smoke marijuana or to do marijuana, then maybe know where it's coming from, because the amount of Chinese grow operations and Russian grow operations that exist inside of the United States, it is baffling. Who just did
Oklahoma?
Who just did a story on this? Somebody did a huge break open story. Maybe James O'Keefe. I think James O'Keefe did it in the last 6 months about the Chinese grow operations inside of Oklahoma, let alone other states, right? So really, really be thinking about it. What's up, Hooter and Tora? That's a cool dude right there. Yeah, somebody said grow your own. I mean, if you have to, like if you're like, man, I just need my weed, which I would argue you don't. You need Christ. And I mean, like, I don't know, dude. If all of a sudden coffee started killing people, I'd probably stop drinking coffee. Like, if everybody who drank coffee, like, if there was a high propensity of that. It was Crowder. That's what it was, Striker Cade. You're right. And even just dirty grow operations. Yeah, absolutely, right? So be mindful of this, guys. Like, you shouldn't have to have a can of or like a plunger of Narcan because you smoke weed. it's where we are, dude. So you guys really need to pay attention to this right now. I don't know. So we're speaking about Narcan a whole lot. Hey, Britt, can you grab me a couple things of Narcan off the wall?
I thought that that's where you put your fentanyl.
This is not where I put my fentanyl. I don't carry fentanyl on me.
Remember that one time?
I know. I remember the one time I said I put 2 doses of fentanyl inside of this kit right here, and then everybody made fun of me because they're like, "Bob, you can't put fentanyl in there." I was like, "I do what I want." All right. So when Faux Daddy designed this kit, Faux Daddy, whoop whoop, bussin'. When Faux Daddy designed this kit, he designed it specifically to be able to take a dose or 2 doses of fentanyl, right? Now, you can put 1 dose of fentanyl, or dang it, Lauren, I said what? 2 doses of fentanyl! 2 doses of Narcan, right? So if you put a dose of Narcan in here, right, you can still fit your compressed gauze on top of it. It's pretty tight, but it can be done. Like so, all right? So, shut up, Ren. I'm trying my best, dang it. All right, so that way you can pull out and you got your compressed gauze, work from the bottom here, and you also have, you can put a ton of fentanyl, but no, you can grab your Narcan and you can use that. You can also take your compressed gauze out, right? And you can put 2 doses of Narcan into the front of the belt kit as well, which is very cool. Just like so. Boom. 2 doses of Narcan inside. Pull it out. Boom. Good to go. And you can then administer Narcan per the directions. 2 doses is a pretty good amount of Narcan. That's going to be... and remember, if you use that, dude, that's pretty serious business. Now, if you just want to run the... guys, I really recommend the belt kit. It's kind of one of our more slept-on kits. If you don't have a belt kit, you probably should grab one now. If you haven't seen Narcan, this is what Narcan looks like. It's just a little nose plunger. Literally, you put on gloves, right? We put on gloves. We put on gloves. We for sure put on gloves, right? Because this person is doing drugs. And then you can plunger it into somebody's nose, their nasal cavity, right? Now, the cool thing about the belt kit is you can run it on the belt with side loops, just like so. It's got nice little buckles, right? So you can run it on the belt, just like so. You can run it in your car, a variety of different ways. You can run it on a motorcycle, a variety of different ways. You can also run it in kit. So it's got 2 molly tabs or malice clips right here that you can molly it to kit. You can go downward, you can go upward. In the top, you pull it, right? You got chest seals and a tourniquet right there, right? And it's a quick release. So like you literally just pull the tab and it comes out and you're GTG, you're good to go, as the kids say. Right? Then with that, something I wanted to show you guys is you can affix this here piece of kit. If I can take that tab off for a second. You can affix this piece of kit to a rifle stock rather easily. Last time I did this, it was not stuffed yet. Like so. Like so. And now I have this with me in case I need to use it because of a medical emergency, if that kind of makes sense, right? And so a pretty cool little piece of gear that helps you quite a bit inside of an emergency, right? Fits right to a stock that's extended, works with every single stock because it goes on the buffer tube, right? And that is super useful, and it's on there, right? So good to go. And I mean, it might have a little bit of shifting, but nothing like a Turcord couldn't fix or anything like that. And then you can have Narcan, wound packing gauze, chest seals, and a tourniquet all right there, which is a pretty big deal and a lot of capability just at your fingertips, which is what we want. We want it close by. There we go. Much better. Belt kits are hot. They're in stock right now. They're selling. If you want one, go grab one. But this is a really easy way to carry a blowout kit and Narcan on you. We got Narcan being shipped to election officials. There's a lot of talk right now about dirty bombs, and just like, gosh, I hope that that doesn't happen. But we know that our adversaries are producing a large amount of it. And so if our adversaries are producing a large amount of it, that's something we should be aware of. And that's something that we should not tolerate inside of our lack of preparedness, right? We should have tools on hand to be able to fix that problem. You could buy literally this box at, I'm pretty sure, Walmart or something like that. So that's pretty cool. What is a dirty bomb? That's a great question. A dirty bomb is something that explodes and has some sort of chemical agent inside of it. So it could be a nuclear bomb, right? That's not like a nuclear warhead. It could be a fentanyl laced explosive. It could be a bunch of different things, right?
You might have read this while I was in the bathroom, but did you read the one about the Chinese knockoff Narcan called Narcant?
Yeah, don't buy Narcant.
Hilarious.
That's fentanyl, actually.
Like, jokes on you.
That's just fentanyl. Nasal Narcan is cool because it works faster. However, if they have a lot of mucus in the nasal passage, the efficacy can go way down. Double dose helps in intramuscular Narcan. Yeah, majority of people here are going to be allowed to administer intramuscular. The morning after a night of poor Taco Bell decisions were made. I don't understand. All right. Narcan is also like an EpiPen. It is a Band-Aid. If you give it to the drug may still be in their system. They need EMS. Yeah, absolutely, they need EMS for a plethora of reasons. All right, so at this point, we're going to move to questions. If you guys have questions about the Bell Kit or you have questions about any of the other stuff we talked about today, we'll do a quick little question period. We do make this. Somebody thought that we didn't make it in red. We do make it in red with the high vis strip still there. Make it in multicam, black, and Ranger green and coyote. So our main colors is what we run it in. Good little piece of kit, man, to carry Narcan on you. Have a little blowout kit. So definitely something. Yeah, I wonder why that is, Iridium Group. I could be misspeaking on that too. All right, questions in the chat. Let them rip. Let them rip. Do. We're not getting any questions. Or I'm not seeing them. Bob, I subscribe to your Bible study channel. Hey, thanks, bro. That's awesome. We'll have Bible study tonight. It's usually around 7 p.m., 7 to 7:30 I start, depending on what's happening in my personal life, because I am actually a person with a family and stuff. It changes. Majority of the components that I've mentioned thus far are all pretty in stock. They vary. If you guys have questions about any specific components, if you're like, I want to get this or this tool or that, just hit us in the live chat. We'll try to source it for you and get it for you.
See Mouse's.
What did Mouse say?
Okay, you twisted my arm enough. I'll order a belt kit. Jeez.
I'm not twisting your arm. Don't order what you don't want, bro. I think it's a good piece of kit, and I think it's a really good, effective way to carry Narcan. I know people that wear the belt kit on their belt every single day. Like literally army docs carry that.
Is the belt gonna be offered in the white camo?
No. The belt kit is not going to be offered in the white camo. Do you think China could do to Holosun what Israel just did with pagers? No. I don't think so. Because that's going to require a bigger battery and the ability to put some sort of charge in there. And as a dude with a Holosun optic, or I have a pistol optic, doesn't seem like there's a ton of space for that. I mean, maybe. All things are possible. It's definitely possible. Is Narcan an OTC purchase? Yes. Yes. A majority of pharmacies and places like that, you can purchase it over the counter. I've started carrying Narcan in a cargo pocket because reasons. Smart, Matt. Super duper smart.
Reasons.
What's the channel name? Across the Table with Bob. Dylon.
Oh, that's why. I was like, what's
It's
with the Dylon B thing? And then it was someone's name, I guess.
it's there's also a bunch of like podcasts on there with different individuals from a plethora of different backgrounds where you get to hear people's testimonies and how they came to know the Lord, which is awesome. Moon and Doc Acres, the belt kit is on my bag and goes everywhere with me. That is gangster, bro. Bobble study. All right, guys. Doesn't seem like there's a ton of questions over here. I'm going to get running so I can keep crushing this day. Let me know if you have any questions. You can always leave it in the comment section below. Hit us up in the live chat. Send an email. Send a text. Don't forget, guys, we're still doing personalized text with every single order. So if you want to see Mike and Ren be weird and faux, just place an order, man. We'll send you a super sweet little text.
I have something.
What do you got?
What do you guys think about the new silly intros? Do y'all like it? Do you dig it? Let me know really quick. Also, I would like to hit 15,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Help me do that, please.
Okay, so Lauren wants to know, what do you guys think of the new silly intros that we've been doing to videos? Do you like them? The second thing she wants to know is, can you guys help her find a new 4,000 subscribers? We got to find 4,000 people. There's 76 people here. Share it with 10ish people a piece, and we're starting to cook, right? And then get those guys to share.
No, not today, Heather. I mean the intros.
Love the intro. Love the intros. Is the burn kit available online? Burn kits are available online. You should be able to grab burn kits, no issue. If you have an issue, just pop in the chat. There just might not be any built, but we probably have the components, so you should be able to grab it. No big deal. Maybe Lauren's dropping a link right now. Yeah, burn gear would be really good to have right now, especially if you had one of the world's most alerting pagers. There's no way they missed that notification. Silly is great. I always
might need to make it available to get as the kit.
Yeah, we'll get the burn kit available for you, K-Nov. If you want to just hit us in the live chat, we'll send you a link. Awesome. Seems like everybody likes it, loves them. Intro, outro is great.
Not the live stream, guys. I mean in our new funny videos.
Oh, is this the new bucket?
Like EDCs. What is this?
It's not a burn bucket. That's not a burn bucket. That's
Why
not a
is the
bucket.
bucket so short?
Hey, not every it stacks just the same.
Okay.
Lauren, it's not the size that matters.
Still waiting for a female kit to wear with yoga or jogger pants. Slick kit. Slick kit. Slick
yes,
kit.
I have a slick kit and I could wear it in my I don't do yoga, but
the only other way we're going to do it is make a belly band.
And if you have the runner's pocket, if you know what I'm talking about, on the side of the leg, you could put a slick kit in there, depending on the size of the runner's pocket. Totally not one bucket.
It's totally not a burn bucket. Ah. We're not making a burn bucket. People said we couldn't make a burn bucket.
Heather, you're not knowing which one I'm talking about, not the staff ones. Like, okay, did you see our 12 C's of conditioning? Dang it, Jake. I'm not the only one either that keeps doing that.
I don't even think Jake is here. He's probably
no.
sleeping right now.
The 12 C's of survival had the funny one and also the team building one. Those, where everybody's being really goofy and stuff.
Bunch of goofy cats or a fanny pack. We've discussed a fanny pack. It could be in the future.
What then? Heather, I challenge you to go watch all our videos now.
Yeah, Heather, go watch our recent videos and you'll know immediately as soon as the video starts.
Yeah.
Because it's the intro.
Not this video.
Oh
my gosh, you guys, I forgot to turn down the outro music. I'll see if I can lower it before.
Hey, I'm warning you guys right now. The outro is still going to be loud if you have headphones in.
Yeah, so just know.
Hey,
it's
Bob and
about
crew,
to
what's
get
going
blasted.
on? The world is on fire. A lot of bad things that are happening right now. Supply chains are collapsing. It seems like kinetic conflict for the U.S. is inbound. They discovered a unsuccessful V-bed at a Trump rally today, which is a vehicle-based IED, improvised explosive device. Yeah, it's really, really bad. You need to get your medical components now, like now. The shortage is about to start. I can see it. I can see it right over there. And it's like, hey, I'm about to start. My wife and I, we just placed an order. We're going to place another order. So if I am buying medical stuff, that's probably an indicator for you guys. All right. Because I might have a little bit of gear, just a little tad of stuff. All right. So, with that, we're going to sign off. Guys, get your gear while you can. If you have questions, hit us up in the live chat. We love you so very much. You are the Refuge Nation. You're what's keeping us going. I just pray that the Lord would continue to bless you in all that you do.
And we have a new class up in the store.
Is it the Mommy and Me?
Yeah, make sure you check it out.
Oh, guys, let's take a quick second really quick. We have a new class that's up in the store right now. It's called the Mommy and Me class. It's basically for you trauma mamas out there, or uncles or aunts or grandparents, whatever have you. It's a kid and adult class where we break down first aid for the children and for the parent, working together, how to call 911, all these different emergent skills in a way that like a 7-year-old could understand. If that's something that interests you, go to that class, share it with people. It's a really cool opportunity. We want more families training together. So that's the whole point of the Mommy and Me class. It's very, very cool. Share it out with the homies, right? And with that, we love you all. We appreciate you. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May his countenance shine upon you, right? That's the Aaronic blessing. And with that, have a great day. Carry an effing tourniquet.
Prepare your ears.
Bye.